Hey there, y'all. It's Miss Campbell. We're going to go through here and do some practice problems with radicals. We're going to practice multiplying them and then dividing them and formatting our answers in the most simplified form. So the first things we're going to look at is multiplying. So right here we have the square root of 32 times the square root of 12. And when you multiply radicals, if there's any numbers in the front, you will multiply those numbers together and put them in front. And then any numbers that are on the inside, you would multiply those together and put them on the inside as well. So we would have here 32 times 12 on the inside, but this is going to be a really big number. So what I can do instead of multiplying these together, because we're going to have to do it anyway, is take these numbers and break them down into their prime factors. So we'll have 32, and we need to think of numbers that we can, two numbers that we can divide 32 by. So the easiest one is probably 8 and 4. Now you have to ask yourself, 8 and 4, can I divide those further? Well, yes, we can. So 4 can be broken down into 2 times 2. Can you break down 2 any further? No. Can you divide 2 any further? No. So those are your primes. So now we'll go back here with our 8. 8, we can do 2 times 4. So 2 stops. 4 breaks down into 2 times 2. And so you circle those. So now all these things that are circled, those are the prime factors of 32. So we will go in and we will write those in the parentheses here. So I'm going to put 5 2's in here, and they're being multiplied. Okay, and then now we'll go do the same thing with 12. So 12 breaks down 3 times 4. So 3 is already a prime, so it stops right there. 4, you get 2 times 2. So do those. So we'll write here, and I'm going to write these in a specific order here. I'm going to put the 2's first. All right. And it's just so you can kind of get the similar numbers like grouped together in there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go through here and you're going to find any pairs of the same number. It's only pairs we're looking for. So you're just looking for 2 at a time of the same number. So we have one pair of 2's right here. I'm going to put a circle around them. I have another pair of 2's right there. I'm going to put a circle around them. Okay, and then right here, I have another pair of 2's. I'm going to put a circle around them. And then I have a single 2 and a single 3 left over. So since they're just one of each, they stay like that. Anytime you see a pair, that number that it's a pair of, so this is a pair of 2's, so a 2 is going to come outside from that one pair. A 2 is going to come outside from the second pair. And then we're going to have another 2 come outside from that third pair. And so when I say come outside, we're just going to write the number that it is a pair of. So it's a pair of 2's. So a 2 is going to come out. And we're going to multiply any other ones that are going to come out. So we have a 2 come out, another 2 come out, and then a third 2 come out. And then on the inside, we'll leave the loners back here. So 2 and 3. And then now what you do to fully simplify your answer is you multiply anything that's on the outside together. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And you multiply anything that's on the inside together. 2 times 3 is 6. And there you go. So that is your simplified answer. Okay, and we typically will not get numbers this large, so it's not going to be as extensive of a process, but just know how that you complete the whole thing. So the next one we have here, we can see we have a negative in front here. So this is really a -1 in front, and there's really a 1 over here, but in front of the square root of 20, but we don't write it because it's not needed. So like I said, you would multiply any numbers that are in the front together. So we have a -1 times 1. And then you take any numbers that are on the insides and multiply those together. 112 times 20. Okay. And if you like, you can multiply those together and then do the factor tree for the big number, or you can break down the smaller numbers individually. It's up to you. So 112. We can do 2 times 56 for this. So 2 is prime. 56, you get 7 times 8, so 7 is prime. 8 is 4, times 2. So 2 is prime. 4 breaks down into 2 times 2. So there's our primes there. So we'll have -1 times 1. And I'm not multiplying those together just yet, just so you can see the whole process. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. So, and then I have a 7. Okay, and then now I'll do the 20. So 20 breaks down here. We have 4 times 5. So 5 is a prime. And then 4, we get 2 and 2. So put those there. All right, and so now the 2, another 2, and another 2, because we have pairs. So remember, those are each going to send out a single 2. So you have -1 times 1 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then inside the square root, we have a 7 and a 5 left over. So we have that. And so now you just multiply all the stuff on the outside. 2 times 2 times 2 times 1 times -1 is -8. And on the inside, 7 times 5 is 35. So there is your simplified answer. Okay. The next one here, I won't work it like out with speaking through it, but I'll show you here. It's just the same as the other one. It's just instead of 1 negative, we have 2. And I'm going to reuse my factoring of 112, so you don't have to do that one again there. All right, so there you go. Okay, so the next one we have here, again, like we've got numbers on the outside as well. So we have 3 times -3. Okay, now square root of 80 times 28. I'll break that down there. So 80, we have 8 times 10. Okay, and then 28. And then just a note, like I'm writing down all these little tiny steps so that you know what is going on. Okay, if you don't have to write down every single one of these little steps individually, like especially the rewriting one here, then that's fine. But you need to at least show me breaking down to the prime factors. So we have here, so what I would do is I would just go through and look at these. I wouldn't go and rewrite what's inside and what's outside. I would just look for my pairs here. So go here, I have a pair of 2s there, I have another pair of 2s there, and then here, you gotta kind of join them together. I got a pair of 2s there. So I know I have a 3 and a -3 out here, and then I've got 3 pairs of 2s. And then on the inside, I have a 5 and a 7, because those were loners. Okay, and just make sure that you've got all your things taken out or put back in. And so now just multiply the outside, multiply the inside. So 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times -3 is -9. So 8 times -9, I'll be -72. And then 35. There we go. All right. So now here, this one. And again, I'll just kind of work through it more without talking as much so you can concentrate on the steps. All right, there you go. So now the next problems that we have, they all have fractions. So it's either the result of division or they just gave it to us like this. So with these things, the problems that we have on this is that we don't like square roots to be in the bottom of our fractions. So we have to do what is called rationalizing the denominator. So right here, we have this 11 divided by the square root of 5. I do not like this square root of 5 down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by a fraction here, and I'm going to write this fraction in a specific way so that I can get rid of the square root in the bottom. So I'm going to multiply it by the square root of 5 over the square root of 5. So essentially, whatever the square root is in the bottom, that's what you're going to multiply by on the top and the bottom in this fraction, okay? And the reason for that is because when I do the square root of 5 times the square root of 5, I'm going to get just 5 from it, okay? And so that's the reason why we do this, because it gets rid of the square root around the 5, and now my fraction's happy. It doesn't have a square root in the bottom. So on the top, you just multiply the things on top together. And again, the 5 is in the square root, so I cannot multiply it with the 11. So we just get 11, and then you put the square root of 5 behind it. That means they're being multiplied. And then on the bottom, like I said, the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is really just going to give us 5. So this would be the answer on that. And if you want here, I can do it a little bit longer way out. So whichever way that you like to kind of think about it. And then you just know square root of 5 times square root of 5 is just 5. Now, your last step that you really have to do is check the numbers that are on the outsides here. See if they can be simplified like this fraction, so 11 over 5. And it can't, so we're done. And then here's square root of 5. You got to make sure that that number inside, we can't like bring out any pairs or anything like that, but 5 is a prime number, so that's our answer. All right, so the next one that we have here is 3 divided by 2 squared is 7. So I know there's a 2 in front, but I don't care. I only care about the square root part. So square root of 7 over square root of 7. So we're going to multiply here. So we'll have 3 square root of 7 over 2 times. And then I want you to think the square root of 7 times square root of 7 together is just going to give you 7. So now we have 3 square root of 7 over 14. And now double check 3 and 14. Can you simplify that fraction anymore? No. 7 on the inside. That's just a prime number, so it can't be simplified anymore. So there you go. Right here, 7 divided by 2 square root of 2, same kind of thing. I just want to multiply by that square root of 2 on the top and the bottom. So I get 7 square root 2 over 2 times, and then that's going to give me another 2. So 7 square root 2 over 4. And 7 and 4 can't be divided. 2 in here is prime. We're good to go. All right, this one. So we're going to do times square root of 3 over square root of 3. So now up here, we're going to multiply the numbers inside. So we're going to get the square root of 6. And on the bottom, we have a 3 already. And we know that square root of 3 times that square root of 3 is going to give me another 3. So now here we have square root of 6. Remember, 6 is just 2 times 3, and those are both primes, and there's no pairs. So it's just going to stay square root of 6. And then 3 times 3 is going to give us 9. So there you go. And there's no number in front of the 6, so we don't have to simplify. All right, this one. Again, we got 2 square roots here. I'm just going to worry about the bottom one because that's the one that I don't want to be on the bottom anymore. So on top, I have 7 square root 2 times square root of 11. And then on the bottom, I have 5 times, and then square root of 11 times square root of 11 is just going to give me 11. So on top, I have 7 square root of 22. And like we just saw here, 22 is just 2 times 11. 11 is prime, 2 is prime, so there's nothing to bring outside of the square root. And then 5 times 11 is 55. And 7 and 55 cannot be simplified anymore, so there's your answer. Another thing that you don't want to do is please do not turn this whole thing into decimals. Just leave it as this fraction. Okay, don't try to do 7 divided by 55 and then put square root of 22. Don't try to type the whole thing in and get a decimal. This is our answer. This is how we're going to leave it. So now here, square root of 3 on the bottom. So square root of 3 on the top, square root of 3 on the bottom. Okay. So on the top we have 6, and then the square root of 18. And then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. Okay, now this one we got some work to do. Okay, 18. Check it. We have 9 times 2. So 2 is a prime. 9 can be broken out further. 3 times 3. Okay. So we have 6, and then the square root of 3 times 2 divided by 3. Now again, I'm showing you every single little step so you can see what we're doing. All right. So here in our square root, we have a pair of 3. So we're going to send the 3 out. So we have 6 times 3, and then we have square root of 2 over 3. Okay. And then now we have 18 square root of 2 over 3. And then final last step. And again, if you can simplify earlier on, that is totally cool. You can do that. I'm just writing out every little step so you can see. 18 divided by 3. That can definitely be simplified. So just do 18 divided by 3 in the calculator and you get 6. So it's 6 square root of 2. All right, and then our very last problem here. Again, I just want to get rid of the square root 11 in the bottom. So I multiply here. So we have square root of 22 over 11. Okay. And we already saw earlier 22. It doesn't break down any further. So there's our final answer. All right, guys. So thank you for being with me and watching these. And just know that they're going to be very useful coming up in our next few lessons. So I'll see you guys later.